What's up, fam? And welcome to episode 22 of BBI Talks with your professor, Karima Lotus. This is the platform where Black business owners and leaders discuss issues that matter to us. Today's episode topic is Beyond Black, businesses that solve social issues. And our very extra special guest is Brother Toure Muhammad, the digital media marketing. And I know I said specialist, y'all, in my write-up, but he's really a guru. Look, he is now proclaimed. BBI Talks, you know what it is. Let's go.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. Glad that I know where I am.
Brother Toure Muhammad seeks to create powerful digital content that entertains, educates, and empowers the Black community. So that's why we love him, y'all. Muhammad is the creator of Bean Soup Media, LLC, a digital media and marketing company that produces two brands, Bean Soup Times and Black Chicago Eats. It's a mission that began when he joined the mighty Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at 19 years of age. His passion and commitment is being a voice of the Black community and an advocate for Black businesses. Since 1993, Muhammad has contributed to the Final Call newspaper, award-winning, y'all, where his articles and photos reported from the frontline stories that help to give voice to the voiceless, such as the original Death Row 10, who were victims of former police commander John Burge, Girl X, and Ryan Harris. He has conducted numerous interviews with elected officials, civil rights leaders, activists, hip-hop artists, and Larry Hoover, the reputed leader of the Gangsta Disciples. His work has appeared in other publications such as Jet, Chicago Defender, Indigo, New York Amsterdam News, and more. Muhammad has worked as the communications director for the Interfaith Committee on Worker Justice, SEIU, and Congressman Bobby L. Rush. He resides presently in the mighty city, the Windy City of Chicago. Without further ado, y'all, you know what it is. Let's welcome Brother Toure Muhammad. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How you doing, Black man?
Karima, you man, it's better than eating Wheaties in the morning, boy. You got me fired up with that intro. I'm about to hop on my bike and do about 20 miles after this.
Praise be to Allah. Look, we got to bring you on right, brother, because you are just such an awesome brother. And it's funny, long before I even met you, I've been reading your articles in the Final Call newspaper, the award-winning Final Call newspaper.
The award-winning, that's right.
Award-winning. We got to say that. We have to make sure that we give that love where it's deserved.
That's right.
And so, you know, now it's just really an honor just to be able to have you here on in my BBI Talks, and the fact that you even allowed the time in your hectic schedule to be with us. I am truly, truly, truly appreciative.
Sister Karima, Sister Professor Karima, it's my honor and my pleasure to be here. I thank Allah for what you were doing. I thank Allah for you and your wonderful husband that I've known for many years. So, man, it's a pleasure to be here. And as soon as we get finished, I'm going to be working on a story for the upcoming issue of the Final Call. And so, man, it's a pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's get started. Let's get rolling, because I already got people checking in on Instagram, and they got their comments. How you doing? Thank you, brother, for checking in. Akbar Shabazz 3. Okay, so here we go. If you wouldn't mind sharing with everyone, what is a digital media marketing guru?
So, all right. So First of all, let me say this. I receive the recognition as a guru when it's given to me, but I don't call myself that.
Right. No, this is from me.
Right. I appreciate that. And I'm receiving now. I'm taking it. But I'm always looking at those that I look to that are way beyond me that I'm striving to be like.
Yes.
Right? So, but we have done a few things that, you know, that deserve some shout out.
Come on now.
Basically, it is someone who has taken the principles of storytelling and using it to market, to promote, to communicate a message in a way that gets people to buy a product or service or buy into a cause, right? So it's using all the modern tools of technology. So we're helping people to move beyond. You know, there's a few still out there, right? Every now and then ask me for a fax, right? Do I have a fax number? There's a few out there that still haven't embraced the digital age. So we're showing them and telling them to use the content you have. Make sure you can digitize it in certain ways to tell your story and promote your brand, or just create new content and use that to tell your story on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of those spaces that you are doing a wonderful job in doing right now.
Oh, thank you, brother. Oh, okay. So now I want to touch on this storytelling for a minute, if you don't mind, because yes. I think oftentimes, and you and I have had a brief conversation. Look, I talked his ear off, y'all, but we had a brief conversation offline regarding, you know, sometimes as business owners, we don't realize where we need help, right? Where we need support. And there's nothing wrong with asking for professionals to step in and do things that we may not be familiar with.
Yeah,
but it's also a good idea to know the process, right? So you know how to choose the person who you're contracting. If you wouldn't mind sharing, like, what are some essentials to storytelling that a business can implement?
Well, I think, you know, you first of all, the most important thing, number one, is to document your journey. Right? And make sure that you are taking pictures, that you are doing short videos, right? You have a new employee, you got a new lease, or you starting this new aspect of the business. Make sure you document it so that when you are now thinking about crafting your story, you have some material to use, right? Gotcha. And so the big part of the first thing about your story is you have to identify and say who you are, right? And of course, that goes beyond your name, but it is what drives you, what makes you tick, what makes this business that you're doing important, right? And so there's a book, I can't recall the name of the book right now, but it was a book that talked about asking yourself your why. And once you answer that why the first time, then ask yourself why that why is important. And often when you get to that third or fourth why, you really get to the core of why you're doing what you do, right? So you have to do some soul searching to know what your purpose is. And as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, blessed is he or she who knows their purpose.
Beautiful.
In life, right? So, and even if you haven't gotten to that stage yet, but you know that your business is solving a problem, right? Then in that moment, your purpose is whatever your business, whatever problem you're solving, right? So be able to communicate who you are, what problem you're solving, and why that's important to, after you identify why it's important to you, why it's important to whoever you're talking to, right? And sometimes we have to be able to understand people to understand how to communicate that problem in a way that's relevant to them. Right. Sometimes businesses we lose when we tell our story because we're not sensitive to the audience we're talking to. So this is something I learned from my brother Delzino Wilson Debriano. He's based in Atlanta, you know, multi-millionaire, and launched the Buy Black movement or the Black Business Network, right?
Yes.
He talks about how when you are communicating to someone, you got about 4 different personality types. You have the dolphin, which is the person that loves to have a good time. They love to enjoy themselves, right? Those friends that, hey, if it's a party, they're gonna be there, right?
Right.
Then you have the urchin, and the urchin is like, it's like Spock from Star Trek. They just need to know the facts.
That's just
and if the numbers add up, they rolling with you. Then you have the whale. The whale cares about other people first and foremost. So the whale is the person that has 1 child but gets a minivan. So because they anticipate they're gonna be carrying around everybody's children, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then you have the shark, and the shark is the person who, no matter what they're doing, no matter what the situation is, they want to win. They want to be on top and be recognized as number 1, right? So when you tell your story, or when you're talking to people about your business, and if you are trying to motivate them, you may have to speak in all 4 terms, right?
Right.
So you find out what strikes their chord.
Awesome.
Right? So, hey, I want to show you how to build your business, because I know, you want to help people, right? And do you have something else you want to do besides this business? Yo, yeah, I want to open up a homeless shelter, or, I want to do this, right? Hey, man, I want to show you how to win in business and get that money, right? So you can pull up in that Ferrari or whatever it is, that Tesla that you want.
That's right.
Hey, I want to help you because this just, when you add it up, you got to have a marketing coach, right? It just makes sense. If you're going to build a business, then
that's
you
right.
have somebody who knows how to do A, B, C, D, right? And then what was the other one? And then the dolphin. Listen, once we get this money, you're going to be able to invite people to that beautiful home and have some parties, and have some home dinners and some supper clubs, right? So you got to always talk and figure out how your story resonates with the person you're talking to.
Awesome. What came to mind, brother, which is really is striking a nerve with me, and that when we look at like social engineering, it's almost as if we are all being reshaped and remolded into a bunch of dolphins, because partying seems to be, isn't that something weighty? Can you imagine that we are being moved away from the whale, the ones that care about other people?
That's right.
Into the dolphin.
That's right.
That just wants to party all the time. Look, that's the Eddie Murphy song, right?
Party all the time. Party all the time.
It's crazy to me, just that whole concept of us being molded that way. And it's happening through our music. It's happening through the videos that are coming on, the movies that we're watching, and it's in the subtleties. We're being slowly turned into being dolphins.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And so when you said that, man, that just struck a chord with me.
Yep, that's right. You're absolutely right. And hey, there are more dolphins in our community than anything.
Than we need, right?
But here's the thing, Professor Karima. Most of us have all 4 of those in us.
Yes.
It's just one that stands out more than the others, right? So when we are able to tap into what is the most predominant characteristic, then we can use that to flow the other ones. So even when we're inviting people to the Mars, brother, man, you come on to the Mars, man. You're gonna have a good time. This message is gonna be incredible. We got some beautiful. Don't get mad at me when I say this part. If I'm talking to a brother, man, we got some beautiful sisters at the Mars, man. You gotta come. I know they ain't gonna meet none, right? But you gotta come so you can right, so that you can connect with them, right? Right? Use that language, that fine line, right? But hey, and we talk about, man, listen afterwards. Man, we're gonna go across the street to the foodie spot. I'm gonna get you a bean pie, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta that fun part, and that man, when you see some of the people, man, with some brothers in the Mars, man, got some beautiful cars, man. You just gotta know how to use that little bit to nudge them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and they come there and be blown away because you told them how much fun they were going to have.
And they always do.
That's all. Every time it's a payoff. So, but yeah, because, man, our people, we are caring people, and we are loving people, and we, you know, sometimes why we don't make a lot of money in business, because in our mind, we've been so conditioned through slavery and through so many corporations that have mistreated us and the environment, that we sometimes associate money with wickedness. Right. And so we almost shy away from it, because we want to be good people, right? We want to be good, God-fearing folks. And in my mind, in their mind, good folks don't have a lot of money. So, you know, so we gotta have that balance and know how to really move and encourage a person to do what's in their own best interest and in our best interest.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of, when you talk about the fact that we associate righteousness with poverty, in essence, I'm thinking about the multi-billion-dollar Salvation Army. It's a nonprofit that serves the community, and they get billions of dollars. I didn't say million, billions of dollars. And then there's actually people who manage foundation money, because a lot of these larger foundations, they invest in hedge funds.
That's right.
Hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, right?
That's
so,
right.
You know, we can't get the kind of traction that we need to get. We certainly can't sustain what it is that we desire to do in the community without money. That is the reality. I believe the minister said that business is the life force. It's the life force.
That's right.
So if business is the life force, then that means that the end result, which is the currency, is what allows us to flow through our communities and begin to make the changes necessary, right?
I know that.
So we need money, right?
That's right.
But I think what helps us is to have the right motives, the right intentions. And that's internal work that we can't do for you, right?
That's right.
So one of the things that impressed me out of many things that's in your bio is the fact that you are so passionate about Black businesses, that you are an advocate for Black businesses. And I really want to delve into that, brother, because I don't think there's enough of us out there, right?
Right.
So what has been your experiences working with Black businesses? And would you mind highlighting some of the businesses that you work with there in Chicago or any other city that you have business interests in?
Absolutely. So it's been a very eye-opening and wonderful experience. When I first started Bean Soup Times in 2001, I was looking at what the landscape was, and it was a print publication, right? So I'm looking at other Black-owned print publications, and other ethnic groups, and then mainstream. And I'm seeing all the advertisement, which of course is the funding source, right? Communications major, CAU, this media.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And I didn't mention this though, but of course, I took a lot of journalism classes at Morehouse, so I was at Clark all the time. I was in Clark's media department because that's where our journalism program was at Morehouse. It was at Clark.
That's right. Look, so, you and Spike Lee.
That's right, me and Spike Lee. So when you look at what was I saying?
You had started Bean Soup Times 2001. It was a print media.
That's right.
And the fact that you get the advertising dollars.
That's right. I'm there. I get teased. Sometimes I go off on a tangent and I forget where I was.
It's all good. Here, look, I'm taking notes, brother.
That's right. Thank you. So I was starting to go after corporations, right? I was going after the grocery stores and other places I saw advertising and all the other publications. And it was a struggle. And it didn't, my spirit was being disturbed because I was going to businesses, quite frankly, whether it was, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, just as an example, right? Big businesses that they didn't need me, right? They already had their quote unquote Black spend already with those established publications. And so I felt like I was begging for their business.
Wow.
And I said, oh, this, you know, this is not comfortable, right?
No, that's right.
I don't like this. So I started making it my point to seek out the Black-owned businesses that I was a welcome introduction, right? Because they needed some marketing, they needed some advertising, and they couldn't afford the bigger publications. So I was able to provide them affordable advertising dollars, and now I began to really learn more about the business and the industry. So I would start doing consultations. I'm like, look, you know, I had one business owner told me, man, I gotta stop advertising because it's not working. And you know, this was at the same time email was becoming popular, right? So we were really doing something new. We were doing print ads, but then I was sending out emails to folks too. And I was promoting like different spoken word events and comedy shows. And whenever someone was doing an event in the community, I would promote it for free in the paper in exchange for showing up at their event and let me have a table, and I would gather emails.
Awesome.
Right. I didn't even know that, you know, the genius of what I was doing in the moment. It was just it made sense. Right. So I was sending out emails at the same time. So when I was getting feedback from him about the advertising wasn't working, I say that don't make sense because I'm getting emails. People responding to your ad, right? So I said, well, what happens when people call? They said, well, I have my daughter answers the phone. I said, well, what does she say? Hello. Right, but how can I help you? And she was a little, you know, she wasn't trained in how to respond to calls from people who were interested in the business. And so they were calling and asking certain questions. And when they didn't like the response, they didn't book. And he was booking studio time, right? For recording artists. So they weren't booking the time. I said, well, look at this. You got 30 people called and only one booked. Let's talk about putting a script for her to be able to answer these calls. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going beyond just taking an ad, but really helping them to develop the capacity and infrastructure to be able to deal with the response they're getting. And so that's what my lane was. I said, okay, now this is where I can help. And I'm much more comfortable in this lane because I'm talking to people I know and meeting new businesses. So we really began to promote and market. And I went head in for it at a time when it wasn't yet popular to be talking about only promoting Black-owned businesses. But that's where we've been, and you know, things have evolved. People are understanding it a lot more now. And now that we see corporate America, so to speak, from banks saying they're going to put money to Black-owned businesses, to, you know, your Yelps and Facebook. Now everybody has a Black business focus, and the interesting thing is that now some of the people that have been in that space for a while that were starting to stand out could possibly be overlooked because now, okay, I don't have to go to the blackmall.com or webuyBlack.com. Let me go to Yelp, right? Let me go, because now they got a Black section. Let me go to Google now. They're focusing on Black. So we have to be careful that we continue to keep the communication lines from Black businesses and Black media open. And don't let major media come in and now, you know, divert some of that flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it really falls in line with us being able to develop our own offline network. That's the bottom line. One that is as independent as it could possibly be. And it's funny when you were talking about businesses getting this influx of attention as a result of COVID, as a result of really predominantly social injustice, right? I mean, right now, eyes are glued to the TV on this George Floyd case, right? So a lot of companies are now trying to, you know, show, oh no, we are empathetic to the plight of Black men and women and children, you know, that thing, right? The bleeding heart syndrome. In some cases, in other cases, they mean well, they just don't know where to put their money.
Right.
But as Black business owners, we have to be careful in that we need to seek out the support that we need to ready our businesses to receive that influx of new attention, right? And so the services that you provide, Brother Toure, and I'm not just saying this so that people will seek you out. Yes, I want them to do that. However, it's also very necessary if you're going to take advantage of the social climate, which impacts the economic climate, right?
That's right.
So now some of the businesses that you've worked with, my husband, when we, first got married, which was 2 years ago. Can you believe it?
Man, congratulations. That's beautiful.
Praise to Allah. Thank you. And so he took me to Chicago, his hometown. And even though I lived in Illinois, I was in the suburbs. So I didn't really know the city.
Right.
But Lord have mercy, we went to Sean Michelle.
Yes.
It's a problem, y'all.
It's a situation. It's a situation and a problem.
It's a problem. That ice cream is so good. Oh my gosh. And
right.
I mean, from the time you walk in through the door, first of all, it's a classy establishment. I haven't seen an ice cream place or parlor or store so classy.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is absolutely beautiful. Forget Brewster's ice cream, Baskin Robbins, please.
Nothing.
Sean Michelle. So please tell us about Sean Michelle and how you work with them. And
absolutely,
it's just exciting.
Let me tell you this. This is, first of all, me and Brother Yaya, who I didn't have the same last name, he didn't have the same name. We played Little League Baseball together.
Oh, wow.
So I saw him and his wife, Nataki, go on prom together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right. So we go back. And when he started doing ice cream, right, he started it in college. And when he came back to the city, he was selling it out of the trunk of his car with he put dry ice in a cooler and was going around the city selling his ice cream in his trunk.
Wow.
Now, of course, that was in the summertime, Chicago winters. So he had to use that dry ice in the wintertime.
Right.
But he would pull up to my house with ice cream in his trunk. And I would come out and pop the trunk like we was doing, a drug transaction. Get my ice cream, man.
You got that cream? You got that cream?
That cream. Hey, I used to I drove an ice cream truck in college for about one summer in Atlanta, right? And I got shot at because the boys on the block thought I was selling dope.
Oh my gosh.
Because hey, I said, Dad, this is what y'all do in Atlanta. So, but anyway, so I've genuinely been in love with his ice cream since day one.
Beautiful.
Right. And
beautiful.
I did the first story on him in Bean Soup Times. This is a classic example, right? When he opened up a shop on 79th Street, his first shop.
Yes.
And so over the years, I've been, even before he became a client, I was an advocate for him.
Awesome.
Right. And so as time flew on, I'm learning new things and different things that can help businesses grow. So of course, I'm talking to him all the time about it. And his passion and love for what he does is so incredible. But I had to give that little quick part because sometimes people see where he is now. And this has been 15, 20 years, right? And this is how we started. His passion was, man, bringing that to your door, right? So he has grown by so many leaps and bounds to the point where his ice cream shop in the wintertime has had a line out the door last year.
Okay, well, I want you to hold that point because I've got a break for those who allow BBI Talks to continue to do what we do, and that's our proud sponsors. So let's go ahead and break for a moment, hold that thought so that we can come back to that part of the conversation. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go.
This episode of BBI Talks is brought to you by our proud sponsor, Abdullah Daniels Group, LLC. We are a full-service life insurance agency that represents multiple carriers in all 50 states. For more details, log on to our website at adgllc.org or call us at 404-561-7480. Abdullah Daniels Group, Life Insurance Agency.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, thank you to our proud sponsor. Okay, so now, Sean Michelle.
So, all right, so when he first started, it was Jabril Supreme Cream.
Okay.
Right? And his middle name is Jabril.
Okay.
But his sister, who was a big influence on him and his life, and was also in the catering culinary arts field.
Beautiful.
She was killed by a drunk driver.
And
it hurt him to the point where he shut down the business for, I think, maybe a year or two. But then, re-inspired by her commitment to their family and to life and to the culinary arts, when he reopened with her name as the name of the business, Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream. So
beautiful.
This man has, and his wife, you know, first of all, the people that they've touched, right, with the ice cream, who fall in love with it and have followed them from one location to the other, right? So this summer, I was doing video interviews of people in the line, right? And some of them that would tell you, hey, I've been with Sean Michelle since the beginning. I remember him on 79th Street. I followed him on 95th Street, right? So you got people who have grown up. My children, you know, I got pictures of them. They're all adults now. Youngest are 21. When they were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, eating ice cream, right?
Beautiful.
And all of them live out of town, but when they come to the city, that's one of the places they got to get to is Sean Michelle's and Brown Sugar Bakery.
Now that's going to be the next place that I would like to go visit when we come back.
Yes.
Because didn't sister purchase like a warehouse or a former like candy factory?
Yep, she purchased Cupid Candies, which has like 4 locations, and they're, you know, people familiar with Fannie Mae. It's kind of like Fannie Mae style of candy. So she has a whole factory. And last time I was over there, it just tickled me because the factory reminds you of that scene when the Carol Burnett show with Carol, with Lucy and Ethel, when they were in that candy factory. But it's a candy
and popping all the candy in your mouth.
Conveyor belt, right, with the candy coming off of it. So it's a very beautiful place, and she's now infusing it with brown sugar spirit. So she's changing, you know, making new candies and all kind of stuff over there. Just amazing.
Oh, I tell you, you know, Chicago is just a incredible city. I mean, the talent, the gifts, the businesses, the people, the environment. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And so, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, is there like a Black business tour, you know, that we can take when we get to Chicago? And, you know, because I'm a foodie, I like to try dishes and stuff. I don't know, but let's talk about Chicago, Black Chicago Eats.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, there's some impromptu tours, of course, that people are doing, and we've done collaborations with others in the space that promote Black-owned businesses, and we've done cash mobs, right? We've done business crawl. We did one in the fall, right? Where we picked different parts of the city, and one per week we crawled in that neighborhood to different Black-owned businesses. That was done, spearheaded by Cassiopeia Uhuru with the Black Mall. And so, you know, she's been featured in the final call. We've done stories about collaborations we've done over the years with the Justice Else local organizing committee here in Chicago. So yeah, so hey, we can put a tour together. Definitely, we'll find out what people want, and we can make sure we hit certain key spots for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So now our topic for today, I wanted to kind of give everybody, a little background about who you are and things that you've been working on. But when I asked, what is it that you wanted to discuss today, we came up with Beyond Black, businesses that solve social issues. So if you wouldn't mind sharing with our viewers, why did that particular topic resonate with you the way it does?
Well, because see, when we back in the day, when we joined the Nation of Islam, we signed a pledge card. And I'm saying back in the day because it just makes me feel, how long I've enjoyed my life and experience in the Nation of Islam.
Yes.
So we signed a pledge card. And that pledge card said that we would strive to build schools, farms, hospitals, and enter into international trade and commerce for the good of ourselves and our people and our community.
That's right.
And that made me see the connection, right, between business and social activism, between business and independence.
Yes.
Right. And so from that moment, I started understanding and learning. So going out with the Final Call newspaper, right, and how the FOI, we're trained to make sure we understand that we need to get the coin for the publication, because not because we just need the coin to do foolishness with, but it helps the publication to keep going.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's all this important critical information is in there. Then we need resources, like we were talking earlier, to produce it. Right. And then if you are focused enough and determined enough, you can actually create a stream of revenue that for some brothers, it could be donation money. It could be something, it can be money to take the family out for a meal. And for some, right, they built a business and a career where they're paying mortgages.
Right.
For selling the Final Call newspaper and adding on the bean pie and other products, right? So, so and that level of independence, right? So we just see how important it is. And so as we look at how we don't often connect those three dots together, you have people who say, I'm going to solve a problem and don't take money for it. And then other people who want to take money but ain't solving the problem. Right?
That's
not a real
creating problems.
Right. They create more problems, right? So I think it's important. And we mentioned during the conversation, Sister Sajda Muhammad, who is consistently talking about, conscious entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Right. I did a book a few years ago called Chicago Self-Made Black Business Pioneers. And I was using the term social entrepreneurs, right? Whether they were in media, whether they were in in hair and skincare, right? Whether they were lawyers, right? They were solving a problem in the community and were compensated for doing that.
That's right.
Right. And so we have to be able to look at, when we spend with a Black-owned business, right? And we talk, we can talk from a Nation of Islam standpoint or just the community at large.
Right.
Right. When you spend money with a business owner who cares about the community, right, that money is going back.
That's right.
When I look at Stephanie Hart with Brown Sugar Bakery, right, people give and spend their money with her. She turns around and does charitable things.
Beautiful.
Right? And when I started working with her, I would sometimes see stuff go out the door that people didn't pay for. They would come by and say, oh, thank you for your donation. Right. And so, and she would donate a cake or donate cupcakes or, give a monetary donation. And so I'm like, well, Stephanie, what is all this? What are you doing? Right. And we need to talk about this. She didn't even want to talk about it. And I said, as somebody that's helping her with her marketing and social media, I'm like, look, these are stories that we can tell so that you don't get caught a year later with somebody saying, well, they take all this money from us with these cupcakes and cakes, but what they doing for the community? Right? No, let's tell the story now so people know that.
That's right.
I'm sitting there watching her be a mother to the cashier, right? Who was in her 20s and trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life.
Beautiful.
And she's not just, you know, a worker, right? She's mama to them. She's encouraging her and telling her what she can do with her life. So then that person goes on to go to college, goes on to, you know, start a family and purchase a home. And, you know, and she talks about how it was the mentoring along with the job that gave her the inspiration, right? So these kind of people in our community are important. When you spend with a Yahya Muhammad and Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream, if you are, or with me, right, in my business, then what am I doing with that money? Right. Some of that money goes to rent. Yeah. Some of that money goes to paying bills.
That's real.
But then some of that money goes to contributing. Right. To the efforts and causes that we believe in. Right. When a believer is in trouble or somebody needs some support and assistance, that money that you spent with my business goes towards that.
That's right.
When we spend money with Target and Walmart and other places like that, what are they doing with their money? What are they doing with their profits? Right. We find out some of it's going to support political parties that, you know, that on the surface don't care about us. Now we can get to a conversation about how neither one. Our brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad used to say, you talking about you belong to the Republican Party, you belong to the Democratic Party. Fool, you wasn't invited to neither party.
That's right. That is right. That is absolutely right.
Right. So, but that money's going somewhere that is not directly impacting our community. So we have to look at how not only supporting businesses that are solving basic problems of food, clothing, and shelter, but also that those businesses give back in ways that other businesses never would. And, you know, if we have more businesses in our community, we know how to hire people, right? And we don't care about your background, right? Like other people do, right? But we're gonna talk to you though. We're gonna make sure
that it don't happen with us.
We're gonna make sure that you're done with that. But we know how to talk to each other and know, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
With other folks, you got the X on your back, they done. They don't even want to talk to you. And I was like, man, you don't even realize this person has more intelligence and beauty and care in them than someone who's never been in prison, but you'll choose that person.
Yeah,
but knowing that you hiring the criminal.
That's right. And it's because we're taking on or we're adopting other people's mindset and viewpoint on how to do things. Even in terms of opening businesses in our communities, if we're not giving back the way you're talking about, then we're no different from the other ethnic groups that come into our communities and set up businesses and keep milking us and never giving back. So we would be no different. It would be the same scenario, different skin color.
That's right.
You know, and so I think it's important for us to understand the point that you're making, that we have a responsibility. Now, just to kind of make a quick pivot, which is still along these lines, but I was reading the center article from the Final Call on doing for self. And I have this understanding, Brother Torrey, and if I'm way off, please, correct the sister. I'm not above correction, right? But one of the things that I was reading, it struck a chord with me, right? We have this understanding of self-employment, and then there's the understanding of doing for self. So with self-employment, we earn the dollars, but we have to take those dollars and go right back to, in some cases, our enemy and buy the things that we need to support ourselves, right?
Right.
But in doing for self, it's a different approach. It's about creating those mechanisms for ourselves. So instead of going to the retailer and buying the clothing, we're taking it all the way back to the land. We're growing the cotton. We're taking it through whatever the modern day gin is. We're producing our own fabric, and then we're providing, right, the clothing, right?
That's right.
So it's taking it all the way back to the beginning so that we control the entire chain, right?
That's right.
So why is it that we as Black business owners seem to be running away from doing for self or mislabeling self-employment for doing for self? How is it that we're not making the connection between starting from the beginning and building it out to just where we are right now? What is happening where we're not understanding the connections that we need to be making?
That's a good question. I think that to a large degree, it's about vision, and it's about necessity. Most of us, there's, you know, it's like the young people say, it's levels to this, right?
Right.
So the first thing we do think about is, okay, how do I take care of myself? And we go through, if we don't evolve and grow that self-employment to a stage where we get comfortable. And when I say comfortable, I mean where we at least know we can make let's say $50,000 a year, right? Then year 1, year 2, we can start thinking even more and thinking bigger. But a lot of us are struggling with trying to make 2,000, right? So we haven't gotten to a level of comfortability where we can start thinking beyond that immediate. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I gotta pay this bill tomorrow. So let me make some phone calls, right? And then of course, the whole idea of self-employment is that you really traded one boss for sometimes a few bosses. And if you're not thinking about how you remove yourself from the creative process, right, you get stuck, right? But that's where I think it's important for us to keep our minds engaged and learning and understanding what business is and how we can continue to grow and evolve it, right? So I don't know, I'm gonna say let me think how I can say this, because this was a private conversation, and I don't want to know if they wanted me to talk about it yet. But I was talking to one of my clients, and they were talking about how they wanted to grow, basically, not create, but grow one of the primary ingredients that not only they use, but that other similar businesses use throughout the country.
Awesome.
So they can become a distributor,
right,
of that product, to, of course, for themselves, but now they can feed everybody, right, and be able to get into a lane that is bigger than what they are now, right? So that's the kind of things but it took them getting to a certain level before they could even start thinking like that, or executing on it, I should say. Because even if they were thinking about it, they were in the place where they could start actually executing and have discussions to figure that part out.
And the reason why I even framed that question, dear brother, is because when we're talking about solving our problems,
yes,
you know, one of the things most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would share with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is that we must think for the whole.
That's right.
And if we're going to solve the problems for the whole, we have to be able to scale these businesses out in such a way that we can get hundreds of thousands of our people who are desiring employment and be able to employ them.
That's right.
It's not going to happen with the self-employment because,
that's right,
because we're bound, like you said, to someone else ultimately providing us or sourcing us with everything.
That's right.
And it's funny because I guess 2 weeks ago, we had Urban Eden on. I don't know if you saw them or not. They have a beautiful natural body soaps and other skincare products, right? And one of the things that they shared a couple of weeks ago is that the reason why they really skyrocketed during a time when there was a quarantine is because they were not sourcing any of their materials from outside vendors.
Look
Hello.
That's
Okay,
powerful.
look, drop the mic.
That's powerful.
You know, so whoever that is that says that they want to grow and be a supplier, do it. Look at all of this.
That's right.
Was that 2 days ago when the whole shipping container in the Suez Canal got a screeching halt?
Right.
That's real.
That's real. That's right.
That's real. So let's talk about some of these problems, brother, because we, you know, and maybe we can rephrase it, since, you know, when you're trying to coin things for a show, you can't always use the longer words like opportunity. But instead of problems, let's say that these are opportunities. So what are some of the things that either you've seen happen or Black businesses can work at solving? How can we use our businesses to solve our issues? What are some of the issues that need solving? Because maybe we just don't know.
Well, so here's one thing we've been talking about, and now we're talking about it even more.
Yes.
The need to connect our Black farmers with our Black restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have a conversation. I interviewed Brother Patrick.
Yes.
Right. And you know, he's already touching on that, right? Mm-hmm. And we have in Illinois, we have farmers in Pembroke. Of course, we know there's farm, and the nation has farm in Michigan, right? Yes. So there's some opportunities for us to redirect so Black Chicago Eats, right? We started that, and it started with the idea of just letting people know what Black-owned restaurants are in the city of Chicago and the Chicagoland area. And it kind of blossomed into a directory, to me doing interviews with restaurateurs and owners, and even doing the Taste of Black Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. So, but we were already talking about, well, what's the end game here?
Right.
See, I love our people. I love all of our restaurants who are striving to provide a service, mm-hmm. right? But I don't want to say, but I said some of them have to consider not only that it's a great business to be in because we spend money with food, but to consider the quality of the food that you're providing. Mm-hmm. Where are you getting it from? Mm-hmm. Right? What are those sources? So that, and I know sometimes it's a financial issue. It's a touchy thing to touch on, right?
Oh yes.
But look, just to be quite frank, and because this is a safe space, right? Yes,
absolutely.
Listen, I love all our restaurateurs and what they're striving to do and most of their spirit, but I don't, Black Chicago Weeks, you're not gonna see me promoting Mamie Joe's Barbecue Pork Shack, right? You're not going to see me promoting certain things that have no nutritional value or benefit other than desserts.
Ooh, no, he didn't.
Hey, look, dessert spots.
Look, that's your problem.
We got some dessert spots, right? As long as those ain't putting bacon bits on top of it.
I'm no. Right? Look, don't get me started with maple covered bacon on a cupcake. Who does that?
Oh, make your stomach hurt, don't it? Right. So, but how can we encourage all the ones that we're celebrating across the country now that are Black-owned restaurateurs, to not follow the same way and the same path of those that have provided us food that shortens our lifespan? And how can we, eat to live? So I know that's a big stretch for some of them because they may not have been introduced to anything as of yet, right? But the conversation is, okay, let's start promoting healthy food habits. Let's start encouraging our people to move away from those foods that not only is destroying our life, but creating an environment of, exacerbating and contributing to the environment of crime and poverty, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you're not eating right, you're not thinking right?
That's right.
Vice versa, right? They both go hand in hand, right? So Now, if we got the farmers that can produce the produce and have the livestock, right? We can know when you go into a restaurant that has this certification on it that the meat that you are eating was properly raised and properly killed.
That's right.
Right. Brother Patrick was talking about the cows. When it's time for one to be slaughtered, they volunteer.
Beautiful.
To be slaughtered.
Beautiful.
Right? That's a whole different world. That's a whole different mindset.
Absolutely.
Right? And how can that change the community if, even if we are eating meat, it's a better quality of meat that, you know, has been raised properly, right? And we're now introducing more fruits and vegetables and things into the community. So to be able to create some kind of, and marketing will be a huge part of it, right? Because if we're teaching and promoting healthy food and hey, this is another way for you to push back on COVID,
right?
Your diet, right? Then maybe other restaurants will jump on board because they see the benefit in promoting a healthy lifestyle, right? And you're not just trying to sell that glazed donut with pulled pork in it,
right?
And whatever else that will shorten the lifestyle.
And we have to believe that. Well, let me start by saying this. You know, my husband and I are in the process of opening our orchard, right?
Yes.
And praise be to Allah. And we have chicks that we are raising, right? And I'm mentioning this, brother, because it feeds right into this statement that you made. We didn't realize how quickly chickens grow on their own, right? And so when you start reading, you know, prior to this, we didn't have any experience raising chickens. I mean, that was not a part of our upbringing, right?
Right.
And so when we're reading articles about how they're injecting, you know, the chickens with hormones and causing them, especially Tyson foods, and they're causing their breasts to enlarge so much so that they break their legs and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
If you've never seen a chicken, right, you've never witnessed the growing process, you may just say, okay, I don't want all those chemicals in my food, but I'm going to Mickey D's anyway, right? That's what someone would say, right? Someone would say that, right? But when you actually watch a chicken grow, I mean, in a matter of days, they're growing. I mean, just by leaps and bounds. You begin to ask yourself the question, I know we have the science to do it, but do we need to do it in order to make money?
Right.
The chickens grow fast enough. I don't want a chicken that goes from egg to full-grown chicken in 3 days.
Right.
It's just not that deep to me.
There's something wrong with that chicken.
Something all the way wrong. But that disconnecting us from the land, disconnecting us from our food source, whether it be the cows at your faith farms, whether it be the chicks, us not really becoming acquainted with the natural order of things, people can tell us any old thing.
That's right.
And so I'm wondering, you know, just, you know, humble suggestion that maybe some of the restaurant owners should take a tour of local farm.
That's right.
So that they can hear directly from a farmer, this is how it's supposed to go. Come down to your faith farm and ask Brother Patrick, the principal farmer, what is the proper way in which cows are supposed to be raised?
That's right.
And I guarantee he will say, not other cows.
Right.
You know, so when you shared that, brother, it just made me so full, you know, just with us going through this process, that you are just spot on, that we just don't realize what disconnecting us from our food source really means.
That's right.
And so that might be one of the reasons why we're holding on to things the way we are, is because we simply lack the knowledge.
We just don't know. Yeah, we just don't know.
Did I lose him?
Yep, I can hear you.
Brother Torre?
Yes.
Oh, I think we lost him for a hot second. Okay, here's back. Look, and we're back.
Right. I can still hear you.
Okay. But yeah, that's what came to mind, dear brother. when you shared that.
Yep.
So,
And that's us taking responsibility, right? That's looking at our problem from the spectacles of supreme wisdom and being able to see how can we affect a bigger change over the whole community.
Absolutely.
Right. So it just made sense to connect the restaurants and the farmers. So there's been some discussions, and there's logistic issues, and there's mindset, right? There's certain levels of restaurants that are already there.
Right.
They want to be local. They want to be farm raised. They want to be organic and non-GMO.
Right.
And others that, right, there's a level of education that they got to go through. And I think that in some ways, they'll shift if the community shifts.
Yes.
And if they see the marketing value in it, right? Hey, we're farm raised right here. Hey, Chicago has a movement of people starting with turkey chop. They started off as quenches. You got Just Turkey. You got places that proudly promote no pork, no beef.
Awesome.
Right? Sissy's Taco Bar, new restaurant, no pork, no beef. Right? So those kind of things I think will catch on, and we got to support those that are doing it like that. And then really make sure that the ones that have all the right tools, that we get as much marketing, we get as much promotion behind them as possible to tell their story, so that we can hear why they did it, why this was the choice, and why it's important to them. And it'll work.
Awesome. So that covers our food. What about our housing, our unemployment? How can we solve or at least address some of these issues?
Man, so almost some of it goes hand in hand, right? If we're looking at finding more, this is what Brother Patrick told me when Your Faith Farms. Brother Patrick said, Brother Torrey, because I just got my real estate license, right?
Awesome.
And
congratulations.
The idea is to focus on 2 of the 3 main things that we need to focus on. Food, clothing, and shelter, right? Those are the main 3 that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us we got to make sure when we do for self, we're focused on, right?
That's right.
So I'm looking at food and shelter, right? So Brother Patrick said, man, find various acres of land and look at how to create ready-made farms.
Awesome. 2
acres, right? And where somebody can produce a certain amount of something, have their home there, right? And now they have, man, I know you all already, that's what you all are doing, right? So look at, so we gotta do the interview so I know some more of the story, right? But I'm looking at, when you have the land, Brother Patrick was talking about, okay, we got some big old pecan trees, right? And he not eating the pecans.
Right.
He gather those pecans up and then sell those pecans to people who eat pecans.
That's right.
That's something that you don't even, it's ready-made revenue.
That's right.
On the land where you live.
That's right.
So we can create more spaces and places where we have some sustainable land. And it goes back to, of course, what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is telling us. Land is the basis of independence.
Absolutely.
Right? So now you have that opportunity, right, for either north or south.
Right.
To have land that can be your housing and create revenue for you. And then you have people who are doing now eco-friendly, what do you call those things? The freight cars. Right, they're creating homes.
Oh, the shipping containers.
Shipping containers.
Yes.
Right. So some people may have seen you watch it. There was a reality show on shipping container. Small living and small homes.
Yes.
And they opened up the idea for it, and for some people that don't need a huge space, now you can create affordable living in small spaces.
That's right.
Of course, the way you deck it out, it can be incredibly comfortable.
Oh, yes.
So there's some Black-owned real estate company. We were talking about one that we found. That matter of fact, they're based in Atlanta, that is doing shipping container housing that's affordable and eco-friendly, right? Yeah. So if we put our attention on it, we can start looking at how we pool our resources. Another axiom, another principle that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have been telling us to do. We find different opportunities and ways to deal with the housing.
Yes.
And, you know, even up north in places like here, you have people who started off with just getting their real estate license, buying a couple of spaces, but now are creating eco-friendly. They're not the shipping containers, but they're creating little neighborhoods, right? Even if it's starting off with 1 or 2 spots, right? But you're starting to build and grow by pooling resources and by bringing all the people who have the knowledge and resources. We got brothers here in the nation who are teaching people all of the areas of building construction.
Awesome.
Right? They can get their journeyman license through their program.
Oh,
right?
That's awesome.
So now let's bring the builders, let's bring the realtors and the real estate folks all together and start creating more affordable housing in our various depleted cities. Right? All it really takes is that us putting our attention on it.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So
and there's an example here in Atlanta. It's actually in the city where we live, Chattahoochee Hills. It's a property called Serenbees. And Serenbees actually sells what you're talking about, those, they call them farmettes. They're broken up into 3-acre, 5-acre, 1-acre plots of land. And they're mini farms. But what they do is they have them take advantage of like the common area of the downtown they created. So it's like farm life without being too remote, right? You still have access, easy access to the creature comforts of life, right?
Right.
And so the reason why I'm sharing that is because, you know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If there's somebody already out there doing it,
people are doing it.
Study it, transform it, make it your own, run with it.
That's right. You know, you even have, I know a brother that has some land that he's going to start leasing out about 2 acres of it for a small mobile home community.
Awesome.
All right, you can't afford the house, get a mobile home in that. Well, you can rent this space for it.
That's right.
Right. And just like you're saying, that now you can create some of the amenities that may be able to, that everyone can take advantage of. Right. Man, might be able to put a little school there.
That's right.
Right. Put a gym there. Right. And then you have some of the key things that you need. Little grocery store.
And the more that you build, you know, what is it called? Centripetal force. When as you're moving in a, you know, at a certain rate, it begins to pull in, you know, those things that are around. Is that centripetal force? Did I say that right? Centripetal force. Look, the real professor is my husband. Don't let me tell you different. I take a lot for that black man every day.
He's a very intelligent brother.
He sure is. He must be from Chicago.
That's that Lincoln Park High School training.
Is that Lane Tech? He said Lane Tech.
Lane Tech. Lane Tech in Lincoln Park.
Wonderful. Well, brother, we are about to wind down. What I'm going to do is give one last shout out to our sponsors of this particular program. And then if you have any closing remarks, we'll go ahead and get to that and be sure to let everybody know how they can reach you and all that great stuff. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
This episode of BBI Talks is brought to you by our proud sponsor, Abdullah Daniels Group, LLC. We are a full-service life insurance agency that represents multiple carriers in all 50 states. For more details, log on to our website at adgllc.org or call us at 404-561-7480. Abdullah Daniels Group, Life Insurance Agency.
All right, Brother Torre, I tell you, it has been an absolute treat to have you here with us at BBI Talks. And I hope and pray that you'll come back so we can talk about some other things, because I know you just a treasure chest of jewels of wisdom. And I want to make sure that we extract as much as we can.
Man, praise be to Allah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're gonna flip the script too. We're gonna have you and Brother Anthony on my show so I can get some of those jewels from both of you all and talk about the event space. But it's been an honor, my honor and privilege. I thank you for inviting me on, and it's been a great conversation.
Absolutely.
And I thank Allah for you and your husband and what you all are doing, because you all are not just talking about it, but you all are actually doing some of the things that we need to be able to be an inspiration, to show that it can be done, and then also to be a resource, right? So, man, so people will know when if you're in the Atlanta area and you want a clean, wonderful place to have an event, and shout out to the MGT, because y'all been COVID safe, and some of the brothers, all of us ain't as COVID. But y'all been keeping things clean and COVID safe before COVID was a thing.
Right.
You already know. But man, if people want to reach me, they can reach me at 773-531-8798. If they want to talk about marketing, they want some just advice, they want some bounce some ideas off. It doesn't have to be that you call me for services, but just you need somebody to talk to that's in the marketing component.
Right.
And if I can just shout out some of the people that I think are so important to helping us to build,
please,
our marketing, right, and our infrastructure. So I've learned this throughout the years that really right now in this world that we're in, when you start your business, you got to have a marketing department, a media department of your business.
That's right.
Starting two businesses, and think about that from the beginning, that you set up your own marketing apparatuses where you can use the internet that can level the playing field. And as much as I've learned, as much as I have done, yes, we did use primarily social media to attract roughly 12,000 people to Mons Marion for the Taste of Black Chicago.
Wow.
But you got some people out there that are doing it on a huge level. So shout out to Brother BNX.
Yes,
his digital real estate course.
Yes.
Right? I've learned some things from him that have allowed me to take business to a different level. And I have with him now resources I know I can lean on, so that some stuff I wasn't comfortable with. Right. Now I know, I got you. Right. Because it's part of the digital real estate course. I know I can go in there and extract it without having to search around and figure out who the guru is on this. No, he got all that stuff, man. Right. So, man, shout out to him and what he's doing.
And he's retooling. He's got digital real estate 2.0.
2.0, yeah.
Killing the game.
Off the chain. Right. I'm still on. I still digested 1.0.
Right. Me too.
He didn't went to English lesson number C2.
Right. Look, we just ordered our books from Amazon. a little late, but no, I'm with you, brother. I honor our brothers, big brother Ben X, brother Jake Taylor,
yes.
The whole Black World Order, and everything that these brothers are doing, because we need more examples, and especially, and I would say among our young people, we need examples, period.
Exactly.
Of us coming together strategically, collaboratively towards creating avenues for one another. And we can do it in our own sphere. There's nothing stopping us from doing that, right?
That's right.
So I want to take the time for you to please share about your show on What's in It for the Black People, Torre Muhammad show.
Absolutely. So, man, we've grown the show over the years, and this is just the next level for us. What's in It for the Black People Media, started by Maze Jackson, is a wonderful platform. And
yes, it is.
So we have a show on there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. myself and my wonderful co-host, Linda Sissy Perez, who is the owner of Sissy's Taco Bar. So
yes,
we do a show on there, and man, it's a wonderful space and place. He has the whole setup and all the tools that we need to take our show to the next level. So, man, it's a great place to be. We love and appreciate him.
It looks like it, brother. And it looks like y'all have so much fun together. I was watching an episode where y'all were talking about vegan food and,
yes,
and the importance of, you know, improving on our diet and eating to live. I mean, it's just dope, y'all. So if you have, what is it, 11 a.m.? This is Central Time, right?
Yes, 11 a.m. Central Time to 1 p.m.
Please check out the Toure Muhammad show. I mean, it's upbeat, it's informative. It's just wonderful, y'all. So please check that out. And that's on What's In It for the Black People Media right there in Chicago. You can watch it online. Like what my husband and I, we get up every morning and watch it on Facebook.
On Facebook, that's right.
They live stream every day, right? So it's just wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to share, Brother Toure, before we close out?
Man, I just want to say I love your show. I love the platform. I love
thank you, brother.
The level of and professionalism and knowledge that you bring to it. So I'm so happy because we had this conversation offline. I'm so happy that you're using those skills that you learned at CAU along with this new technology to do a great show. And your voice is important and needed. And your experience and knowledge. So, man, keep the show going. And we supporters now. I'll make sure I'm tuning into your show.
Yes.
Because I love the whole setup.
Thank you, dear brother. We appreciate it and we appreciate you. All praises are due to Allah for anything we're able to do of good. And I want to thank my wonderful purpose partner, my husband, my love. Thank you, Anthony D. Yeah.
I got him in my phone because, you know, it's a few Anthony Muhammad's, right? So I don't want to get them mixed up, right? So he's in my phone as Anthony Shine Lanta Muhammad.
you know he throwing up the seeds. You know he throwing up the seeds. Well, I tell you, this has been an awesome episode 22 of BBI Talks. Beyond Black businesses that solve social issues. I want to thank everybody who has tuned in on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, I can't forget about my Instagram fam. Thank you for making the switch from @Professor Lotus to BBI Talks. I really appreciate it. I also want to announce that come May, where's it at, babe? What I do at that date? What would I do without this black man? Our season 2 is going to get started on Wednesday, April 28th. So we're going to take a little break and we'll let you know why we took a break on the other side. We got some things going on, but season 2 of BBI Talks is going to get started. So we definitely got to have you back for season 2, dear brother. I just want to thank all of you for watching today. And we will see y'all on April 28th. So I tell you, thank you, Brother Toure. Assalamu alaikum. And enjoy your day and continue to please do things that are relevant as you have been doing, and know that we are here to be supportive of what you're doing. We honor you for every contribution that you have made over your career, and we are praying for your continued success moving forward as you continue to just make your mark, brother. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and Allahu Akbar.
Wa alaikum salam.
We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. The earth is the kingdom of God. Glad that I know where I am. We gotta bring businesses back. My business is black. My business is black as the universe. I know why they mad. They gotta react, cause we're universal influencers. I can supply you the man. I can supply you the man. Get what I need out the land. Glad that I know